Hi, my name is Christelle Pizera. I'm the founder and managing director of Water Access Rwanda. Water Access Rwanda is all about providing simple, affordable, and durable water solutions. We started providing water in Rwanda in 2014, and 6 years later, we have reached over 150,000 people with clean water, and also over 10 farms are irrigating from one of our boreholes powered by solar systems. With the success we've had with INUMA, which is the first safe water mini grid launched in 2017, we started wondering why not do the same for our farmers. See, since 2017, we have established farm systems, but most of our farmers are large farmers, at least in the Rwanda context. They irrigate between 5 to 10 and even higher hectares of land and would see our investment usually between $8,000 to $15,000 as something they can recover on their farms if they start irrigating and feeding their livestock properly. But for small farmers, those numbers just didn't add up. Because you see, most farmland in Rwanda is between zero point 0.4 to zero point 0.7 hectares of land. Establishing an $8,000 to $15,000 solar irrigation system just doesn't make financial sense. And most of these farmers cannot raise the capital needed to establish that system because, again, it's a small land, small value, so the banks rarely can provide that amount of money over that land size. We also saw an opportunity to actually provide what we're doing in drinking water to do that for agriculture. So why not combine several farms to achieve at least 2 hectares to 10 hectares of land and then provide them an appropriate solar irrigation system that they can share among them. Once we started thinking about that, we noticed there would be one major challenge. People have land that is not the same size. They may choose to cultivate different crops needing different amounts of water. So we realized this would lead to a potential challenge of people not using water the same way, yet paying the same amount of money in case they were buying the system from us as a collective. So we decided to install meters, water meters, the same way we do with drinking water systems, so that farmers can, instead of paying the capex, pay for the water they use. And by installing those meters in the system, it actually opened up an opportunity for a young person to run this system as a franchise. So was birthed the idea of Ijabo. With Ijabo, we will create water sources by drilling boreholes, something we've done now with over 100 boreholes in the company. Or we may also locate nearby surface water sources. To make this really effective, we looked at an underserved group of farmers, namely farmers that are located at high altitude areas, what usually is referred to as hillside irrigation. We identified farmers living between 30 meters to 185 meters vertical distance from a nearby water source. These farmers have the most challenge of finding water for irrigation, and we believe with solar irrigation we can provide them a solution that does not give them a recurring cost of buying diesel or fuel just to irrigate. So with Ijabo, we will install high head, high yield solar water pumps that will pump the water up to an elevated storage in the combined farms, and then the water will be piped to each individual farms so they can use the water as they want and only pay for the water they have used. This removes from the farmer the burden of finding capex, but also the burden of ensuring maintenance. Now, this also translates into a huge opportunity for the young franchisee. For between $10,000 and $36,000, the young franchisee is able to make quite a high return every year and good income for themselves. Meaning that we can sell this to young franchisee, which banks can finance, and it creates opportunity for young people in agriculture, but also improves the yields of farmers because now they can irrigate and cultivate through the dry season and cultivate high value crops like onions, cabbage, watermelons, green beans, all these high value crops that sell so much higher than the more climate resilient crops that most farmers will go for because they don't have irrigation water. So Ijabo increases yields for farmers. It improves climate resilience for farmers. It reduces carbon emission because, again, our direct competition are diesel pumps, which are cheaper to start but more expensive in buying fuel cost and also for the planet in terms of carbon cost. Additionally, we create opportunities for young people, and following water access Rwanda's trends, these will be mainly young women that we're going to empower with running these franchisees, and then also create opportunities within food security and local resilience, where we will have um, more food available on the markets and no interruption of supply because it's dry season or something like that. So this is Ijabo. We're trying to run a pilot. Again, we have already been doing this in terms of establishing the technology, and we've been running the business model through our drinking water mini grids. And we're combining those two existing services in the company to deliver something that will drive value and impact in rural areas, especially for farmers, smallholder farmers again, and women and young people who are going to be the beneficiary of these Ijabo irrigation water mini grids. Thank you, and thank you for your support.